Hey, what's up, everybody? We got a whole bunch of news we're going to cover today. We have stuff about Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, the New York Stock Exchange, Asia, Tron. We have about a 30% rise in cryptocurrency basically overnight. So we're going to talk about all that and more on the first ever episode of The Doji Show. This episode of Doji Show is brought to you in part by PineBot. Visit pinebot.com today for access to the world's most advanced algorithmic trading bots. Put your portfolio on autopilot with PineScript-powered AI. Long and short, bull or bear markets. Browse the strategy marketplace and subscribe to user-created bot strategies. Then, load them up in our easy-to-use bot commander interface. Deploy the best strategies against the market for the win today at www.pinebot.com. And welcome back to our first ever episode. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that this is the first time in history that Bitcoin has had an inverse correlation to traditional financial markets like the S&P 500, Dow Jones, all that good stuff. So here reporting on that issue is me, Tensor Tom, in this following segment. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Tensor Tom here with Doji Show. Just wanted to share a little bit of news with you guys for anyone who hasn't heard about it yet. So let me pull up a chart here real quick and show you guys what I'm looking at. So if you look at the chart, you can see at the top there we have regular financial markets, the Dow Jones Industrial, S&P 500, NASDAQ. Those are the three lines on the top. On the bottom we have Bitcoin. You can see where we have this little bull run here in the past couple days. And what's really interesting about this chart is that this is the first time in the history of Bitcoin and, aka cryptocurrency, where we have an inverse corollary to standard financial markets. And so that's a really exciting thing because this never happened before. And it's happening now at a point where Bitcoin is in such a bear market. Now there's two ways to look at that, in my opinion. One is, I'm still going to look at it in a positive light no matter what. I don't think there really is a negative way to look at it. Of course, on the other hand, one could say that, we were so far away from the mean that it just had to violate, right? It had to violate the TA, or it had to inverse correlate. I don't buy that though. The way I look at this is that I look at the first ever inverse corollary to the regular markets as sort of that Bitcoin, aka cryptocurrency, is sort of, it's figuring out how to stand on its own 2 feet. Thanks for that great reporting, Tensor Tom. So we also had this funny thing happen with an crypto prophet. So check that out. Tensor? Alright, so check it out, everybody. I picked up this story this morning, and it's about this guy who back in 2011 was making YouTube videos talking about how big Bitcoin was going to be. And apparently, he was all over it. One of the very first people, because nobody was talking about Bitcoin back then, so... Anyway, these stories started to spin up earlier on YouTube as I was checking the news about this guy, because he had just, put out some videos recently about what he thought the price was going to be, coming up. And everybody's referring to him as like this, crypto market prophet kind of guy who's like a Nostradamus of Bitcoin. So, I was just going to do a little piece on that, but then the guy actually came out and made a response video to all that, which I thought was... well, see for yourself.
Hi everyone, I have to do another quick video actually, talking about and clearing up a few things that people have stated that I've said, which are not true, or things that they believe that I am, which are also untrue. One, I did not predict 9/11.
What? Who the hell is saying this guy predicted 9/11? I mean, really, a lot of people predicted 9/11, actually. It's kind of weird. I would say Dick Cheney probably predicted 9/11, but that's neither here nor there. So people are saying this guy predicted 9/11. Why? All right, let's see what else he has to say.
Right. I did not see that coming. I was in France, in the south of France, when it happened, right? And I was quite as shocked as everybody else was. And I had no idea what was going on either. So,
this guy seems pretty cool and everything, and but I'm getting this vibe, like, he got into Bitcoin in 2011. For all we know, he bought, 20,000 Bitcoin. He was in France during 9/11. I don't know. Let's just keep an ear out and see how this unfolds.
oh, no, I was far removed from 9/11. And as for what really happened, well, I mean, come on. There's plenty of inconsistencies if you go through all the video footage that you can't explain, right? I mean, where are the engines? The engines in the Pentagon evaporated?
Indeed. Where are the engines in the Pentagon? Did they evaporate? Is Dr. Judy Wood correct? Is it an energy weapon from space? So, this guy, we went from Bitcoin, and now we're talking about predicting 9/11, and now we're putting forth a theory. So I kind of like where this is going. Let's keep it up.
Another thing is that I'm not Satoshi. If I was Satoshi.
That's right, you're not Satoshi, because I'm Satoshi. Everybody knows Tensor Tom is Satoshi Nakamoto, and that's just a fact. So don't try to represent it, But I guess you're not, so that's cool. Keep it rolling.
Man, I'd be doing all right. I actually, if I was Satoshi, I would.
You got into Bitcoin in 2011. I know you're doing all right. This guy has got to be doing all right. I mean, unless he just bought a handful, but I don't think so, because this guy worked by you'll see.
I wouldn't say word, actually. No, I wouldn't move the coins either, because that's just stupid. That's stupid.
Now wait a minute, see, I was joking about being Satoshi, but this guy, I don't know.
I'm not perfect, and I did predict the 2008 crisis.
So he predicted the 2008 financial crisis. That's something. So let's see, what's our track record so far? Predicted Bitcoin, predicted 9/11, predicted the 2008 financial crisis. What else? Oh, and is Satoshi Nakamoto.
If you talk to people at Lulz Technologies, if the same people are there, they will all tell you that I took vacation.
Note to self. Lulz Technologies. Intertwined with Satoshi. 9/11. 2008 financial crisis.
Just to watch the financial system collapse.
Oh my god, he just admitted it. He just admitted it. Wow. Whoa, that was weird. So anyway, this guy, he has this long past with Bitcoin since 2011. I'm sure he's got a ton of it. He was involved in 9/11, and he went to Paris to orchestrate it. He had a hand in creating Bitcoin with an international cabal, basically. And, I'm just joking about all this stuff, obviously. But, he's been at this for a long time, and he's been right about a few things. He worked for a financial institution, apparently. I'm definitely going to give his channel, give it a look-see, and see what it's all about. For everybody, it is something Da Vinci. I'll get the name link and put it in the description. So, you know, all that silliness aside, let's see what kind of message he has for everybody, what you should do for the future.
Run out and buy Bitcoins, spend all your money, go and sell everything you've got, max out your credit cards, and buy Bitcoin.
Jesus. Wow. That, I mean, it's kind of irresponsible to... Nah, he didn't really say that. Run out and buy Bitcoin with every penny you have. Isn't it great having a twin? Thanks for that honest reporting, Tensor. Next, let's check in with the Doji Show time machine in the year 2060 to see how things turn out. Alright, and here we go. We should be getting connection here any second. You can't use it. You have to abandon crypto. Stop trading crypto. Tom, can you hear me? Hello? Tom? That was weird. I didn't see anything in on my display. I must have had like a bad connection or something. Did you guys see any of that? I don't know, I'll have to check the recordings later and see if anything actually came through, but you know, I hope everything's okay in 2060. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive into some charts for today. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin chart. We're on the day chart right now, and I've got a few of my indicators loaded up. The first thing that you'll notice is that it looks like, see, we still have our correlation stuff up here from before. These are the standard financial markets like S&P and all that. So that's still up there. Now if you look at our current pullback that we have here, it looks like our pullback actually correlates with the downward momentum of the stock exchange. So this could be the end of our inverse correlation that we were talking about before. You know, technically for this moment, you would call it the end of it because the price just simply went down here, and so did our price. And you know, I mean, it's on the day chart too, so it's pretty significant. At the same time, though, this is a pullback, right? I'm not expecting us to head to new lows at this time. Let's go ahead and get it on a tighter time frame to see what's going on. Alright, so how I like to do this is I take these two indicators, right? These two awesome indicators you can get if you look me up on TradingView. They're free for anyone to use. And so we'll just go down in time frames until we find the significance. So we're going to go, let's see, the 12 hour. No, that's not going to be it. So we'll go down to the 6 hour. Nope, that's not going to be it. What about the 4 hour? Okay, and you see on the 4 hour chart, price came up to this moving average, and that's where we had some trouble, and the price came down. Alright, so what I'd be looking for now is I want to see the price come back up to this moving average and then bust through it. So from now on, while we watch Bitcoin play out, I'm going to be paying really close attention to this 4 hour chart especially, and where the price is in relation to this line. A lot of times what you'll see is when price comes up to the average, it'll bounce off, and then it'll try like 1 or 2 more times, and then it'll bust through finally, and you'll get a bona fide cross, and then price will really tear upward and up, well, whichever direction it's going, it'll tear through pretty good, right? Now let's see, yeah, these are some pretty strong signals we got here. Here we had some signs that price was weakening, and then of course we then you know, after those signs, we of course weren't able to get a true breakout from the average. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at Tron TRX to BTC. As you can see, so this is the weekly chart. I had to zoom in, I had to zoom out pretty far on this chart just because of how nutso it is. is a massive run up for Tron. And this is another one of those cases where if you take a look, you see this pattern, this clear W pattern here, this clear butterfly sort of thing that we see going on here. And this is a classic case of like, technicals meet fundamentals, where you have all this good fundamental news coming out about Tron, and then, but it looks like, you know, all along you could have predicted it. So you see this pattern, and then you say, okay, on the right side of this pattern, we're going to be looking for a massive run on this side. So anywhere along here, if you were anyone who is well versed in technicals would have been looking at this, they would have already placed an order down here somewhere. Okay, but you know, there's always plenty of places to make entries. I also still happen to have the financial stock market stuff lines up here too, and Tron is going against those, so that's an interesting thing. Of course, let's see, we're gonna have to get on a tighter time frame to really take a look at what might be going on here. So let's go down, we're on the weekly. Let's check out the day chart. Right, so yeah, the day chart, you can see my indicators here. We have just busted right through, and yeah, so this is, you know, bona fide real breakout action where I don't expect Tron to reverse anytime soon. If it were to come all the way down, back all the way down here, I don't think it would head back into bear mode. Pretty sure about that, but you know, we'll see. Let's get down a little tighter. We're on the day chart. Let's check out the 4-hour. Alright, so we're on the 4-hour chart, and still no signs of weakening. Even zooming in here. Now, looking for entries along the way up, I would have been looking at it for an entry probably right here in this little pocket here. Also would have been looking for on any of these pullbacks here, especially here. You know, those all would have been good entries on the pullbacks. And so with Tron doing this breakout, and it's going to keep going, right? But you know, don't just jump in just because it's going up. For sure, you want to wait for a good entry, and you will get one. Now, I don't see a sign that it's going to pull back yet. Wait, I could zoom in a little further though, and maybe we'll get lucky, and there'll be something really obvious to jump out. Okay. Yeah, so we could be seeing, actually, we could be seeing signs here that Tron might, especially now that I see this here, we might see another pullback here. Okay, so you know, we'll keep an eye on it, but really impressive price action out of Tron recently, and it surprised me that this stuff started coming out. I hadn't this is the first time I looked at the monthly and weekly charts for Tron. We'll keep an eye on it here at Doji Show. So that's about all the time we have for today on Doji Show. I hope you liked our first episode. I sure had fun. We have a whole bunch more stuff to talk about, a few things I didn't get to today, like, you know, the Backed project, all that sort of stuff, you know, various news items. But there's more to come, for sure. And there's also a few other things I want to get to. For instance, Doji Show, I'm going to have a lot of stuff geared towards AI and machine learning, because I believe that a lot of the crypto channels that are out there today, and a lot of the services, even, you know, a lot of the paid services, most of them actually, are mostly doing people a disservice, because they're not utilizing the strongest weaponry that we have against these markets, which are, you know, AI and machine learning. The most important thing that any of you could be doing to leverage some amount of power against these markets is to make use of machine learning, because machine learning is definitely being put to use against you, for sure. And it's incumbent upon those of us who are well versed and trained in financial markets and software engineering, especially those of us who are entwined in the both. It's incumbent upon us to disseminate knowledge of how to best utilize that and help people in the best way that we know how. And certainly anyone who's been trading for any significant amount of time knows these things, and if they're not making use, then they're doing a disservice to themselves. So I just want to put that out there because it's sort of a preamble to what's to come. And I hope you all have a wonderful day in your trades. Thanks for tuning in. I bet many of you are uncomfortable in your seats after watching this broadcast. You could use some talcum.